Hello, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Well, so we're going to get started here. I'm Danny Boudreau from the Tijuana River Reserve, and I'm one of the organizers. We have lots of partners that helped bring this day to you. Point Blue, Sea Grant, the San Diego Regional Climate Collaborative. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. There are tons of logos at the bottom of the agenda, but you will get to see all of them throughout today. So we will, USGS, of course, the number one partner. So I just wanted to really quick welcome you all and just do some real quick logistical information. So bathrooms are out this door. You're going to go out the way you came in, go past the elevators, and they're to your left. If you don't remember that, there's a sign right at the welcome desk that will direct you there. In terms of parking, if you are parked directly here, this is 2-hour only parking. They do tow, so I would recommend you move your car to the parking structure if you are parked directly here. And then Kimberly from the Water Quality Board just wanted to do a quick safety announcement, so I'm going to hand it off to her.
Good morning and welcome to the San Diego Regional Water Quality Control Board. I'm a program analyst here, and among my many hats is the Health and Safety Coordinator. So, a quick moment of your time. If anyone in the audience has any difficulty exiting the building, you don't need to call yourself out here, but if you would make yourself known to me or the people at reception, and in the event of an emergency evacuation, we can assist you. If there is a fire drill, you will hear the alarm in this room. How many exits? We have safety-conscious people. How many exits are in this room? Anybody? Yell it out. 3, that's right. 1 right over here to your left, 1 just here, and 1 just here behind me. You want to go out the doors, this one, and go right, go out this door, go to the right, go out this door, go left, and then right out to the grassy lawn. Not a very drought-conscious part of our building, but go out to the grassy lawn, and then we will congregate. Please don't leave. We're going to be doing a head check. So in the event of any type of earthquake, three things we should do. Number 1, drop. Number 2, cover. And number 3, if you're able, hold on to something. If we have some intruder in the building and we're concerned about escalation or violence, then what are the 3 things that the FBI tells us to do? Anybody? Run, hide, and fight, right? So 3 exits, be conscious of those. If you need to barricade in, could everyone from Region 9 who's not already standing, stand up, including myself, right? These are people who can get behind locked doors, try to reach an exit, run, hide, and fight. There is an alarm that goes off, but you will not hear it. It's silent on this floor. But there's a bunch of people who will mobilize in the event of that type of thing happening. Sorry about the sobering news. It's sobering times. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Kimberly. Well, so now to be more upbeat. So I'm going to invite David Gibson, the Executive Officer from the Regional Water Quality Control Board, and he's going to welcome us here today. So thank you, Dave. We're excited to have you.
Thank you and good morning. It's nice to see a few familiar faces. In 2013, the board, which usually sits behind me here, adopted its strategic plan, our practical vision. And in it, in the first 25 words, are the mention of climate change and sea level rise as among the challenges that the Water Board faces in protecting and restoring water quality and beneficial uses. It is now a part of our thinking in terms of strategizing for healthy waters, shifting from a process control management style to an outcomes-based approach for environmental quality and water quality and beneficial uses. And in that thinking has to be the realities of climate change, both in terms of changes in hydrology, changes in sea level rise, ocean warming, ocean acidification, Next month, the board will be considering one of its largest permits, the Point Loma wastewater treatment plant permit, in the first of 2 hearings with US EPA. A large part of that discharge has to be taken into account now is nitrogen, the mass loading of nitrogen, and as that constituent changes in the ocean environment with ocean acidification and warming, how should the water board begin looking at that constituent and requiring additional controls or modifications in controls for that, just as one example. But the board is also responsible for regulating stormwater, construction, municipal, and industrial. And now we're facing changes in hydrology that post-date the regulations that were written for stormwater. The regulations were written in 1990. Most of the permits date back to the 2000s. The most recent permit is a watershed-based permit that allows the stormwater co-permittees to set priorities and then implement a watershed approach to them. Inherent in that thinking for the board was a reality that we're not going to have storm events like 1993. We'll have storm years like 2003, and those plans ought to represent that reality. And then there is source water. San Diego relies for about its local water supply about 20% in a good year, 5% in normal years, from local municipal reservoirs like the one pictured behind you. But how many of you also realize that those reservoirs are 100% of your emergency water supply? Anybody see that really wonderful movie, San Andreas? Well, there's 3 earthquake faults that stand between you and your water supply. San Andreas, good old-fashioned one, the Elsinore, and the San Jacinto faults. Any of those faults, when they slip, could cut off your water supply for 3 months, 6 months, longer. When that happens, those reservoirs are the ones you're going to have to rely upon. How we manage those are also a concern of the Water Board. We have several permitting authorities that can assist agencies in managing those supplies, augmenting them with things like desalination and so on. So the Water Board has been very concerned with climate change. And the final area that you'll be hearing, I think, several things about today in your presentations is what do we do about sea level rise? Do storm drains drain well around San Diego Bay during a storm surge when they're underwater? What does that mean for the municipalities around the bay? What does that mean for our wastewater treatment plants or our power plants that may be situated on the coast? Where, as we will certainly be asked, do we harden the shoreline? Where do we retreat? These are among the questions the board anticipates working with you to address during the coming years. So this is a very good program, and I'm very glad for the healthy turnout today. We have several staff here. Unfortunately, I do have to excuse myself after a few moments, but they are here. Feel free to approach them, ask them questions, engage them in the conversations and the presentations. And with that, on behalf of the board, thank you very much for your time and attention and for attending today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. So for our day today, we did not hand out agendas because we're trying to make it paperless. But so we're going to start off with our first session here that Juliet Hart from USGS is going to moderate, and that's going to focus on the coastal storm modeling system. And then our second session is going to focus on local planning and what some regional and local governments are doing. So, Juliet, I'll hand it off to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. This is, I heard from Laura and Danny that people were emailing up until about 4 o'clock yesterday. So from the USGS side, we're thrilled that people are so interested in learning about what we have to offer. So I will very briefly introduce our panelists. And one of the important things with our panelists is that they will be here, but behind them is a huge team of people that are working together on this whole project. So we have a couple people from USGS that will be on the panel, and then we've got 2 people from OCOF that have helped develop the tool that allows you to access the information. So the first panelist will be Dr. Lee Erickson. So if you want to come up while I'm describing you. She's a research oceanographer with the USGS Pacific Coastal and Marine Science Center in Santa Cruz. She's been working there since 2005, focused on hydrodynamics, nearshore processes, coastal flooding, and shoreline change. Dr. Erickson previously worked as an environmental engineering consultant and for international aid agencies assisting with coastal planning. So she received her BS from Humboldt State in environmental engineering, her MS in ocean engineering from URI in Rhode Island, and then her PhD from the Lund Institute of Technology in Sweden. And then I'll also introduce Michael Fitzgibbon, who is going to talk about our CoStar Future Viewer, which is how you can get the information. So Michael Fitzgibbon is the Chief Technology Officer at Point Blue Conservation Science. Since joining Point Blue in 2007, Michael has built the California Avian Data Center website, as well as the Our Coast, Our Future website that you're going to hear about today. Prior to Point Blue, Michael spent over 20 years in software development, most recently at Intuit on the new Quicken online products, which we are probably all very familiar with managing. He also helped from Autodesk's GIS Market Group and worked at Esri as a member of the ARC Info team. So lots of experience between the two of these to help provide this kind of information. And so Lee will give an overview of the under-the-hood details of how Cosmos works, and then Michael will talk about how you can access this information, and then we'll bring everybody up to answer some questions. And with that, we will turn it over. Thank you.